We are going to continue today with Chantel, myself, and try to explain our idea or our solution to the most important problem that we have nowadays is unemployment. So at Chantel's age, she is now, we said 13. We think she should be preparing herself to work. So I will ask Chantel how she thinks she can achieve that.
I think I can achieve that by completing school and working for like part time or something like that. So I can have at least even a bit of experience for after university when I go into the workforce.
Okay, to have the experience is good, but here I want to make a point. Suppose Chantel wants to be a doctor or she wants to be a lawyer, for example. How can we provide work for her that will lead to being a doctor or lead to being a lawyer? What do you think?
I think we could like start them off early. Maybe we could give us like research, like we could research it. We could give them books, or even like give them like just a few starting materials, workbooks.
That is all good what Chantal just said, all good. She can do research, she can learn about being a doctor. No need to practice being a doctor because for that you need to be qualified. You no need to practice law for that. She needs to be qualified. But it doesn't harm to learn about these things. But at her job, maybe not all يعني, teenagers at Chantel's age know what they are going to do when they grow up or after they finish school. Or maybe they have an idea, but not necessarily that will be what they do when they finish school. So we want to prepare this age, يعني 13 years old, 14 years old, to start working when as soon as they get to high school. Do we have to prepare them specifically for certain jobs, or it will be a good idea if we find the common denominator or something that is the same between all jobs? That is something common between everything. What is that? Let Chantal tell you.
The common thing about all jobs and everything is money.
Yeah, you work to earn money. Let's know, let's, at her age, we can make people work, we can make teenagers work or prepare them for work by teaching them about business, about money, about how to handle this thing. This is very important part of their future. And these things are common to all jobs, to all things we want to do. Let's see if we can learn this stuff our own way. يعني what people do or study at the MBA level after they finish school, we will try to teach at this age the fundamentals of that. So let's talk about this money, banknotes. Many people mix the existence of paper money with the existence of banks. This is called banknote, paper money, and that one is called a bank, where you put your money there, you deposit your money there, you keep it there for safekeeping. Whether it is this money or another money, the concept of banking is not new. But let's see if I can explain to Chantel how did this come to existence. See, money is very important and it is the backside of everything. It is the common factor between all jobs and sciences and everything we want to do. So, how did this come to existence? Who invented this money? People used to use gold and silver for transactions.
Sometimes even shells.
Yeah, many things. Actually, good. Good, she mentioned shells, and sometimes it was stones,
Mm.
sometimes it was copper. Anything that can be used as, let's first of all start with the definition of money. I asked Chantel to look up what is the definition for money. Let's see what she came up with. And from Google definition of money. What is money?
Money is anything widely accepted as a way to pay goods or services, measure value, and store wealth, acting as a medium of exchange, unit of account, and a store of value, simplifying trade by moving beyond bartering and evolving from precious metals to digital forms like bank deposits and cryptocurrencies, all relying on societal trust in its value.
You see, that is the definition in Google about what is money, the definition of money. To make it يعني, brief to the point, money is what money does. Money is a medium of exchange. We use it to trade goods and services among us, among people, sometimes across boundaries, sometimes across countries. Money also is measure of value. It is a measure of value. Yani we think this building worth this much, this car worth that much, this necklace worth that much. So we measure things and compare them and add them by converting them to what is their value in terms of money. And money is a store of wealth. So anything that does these things, three things, is money. We didn't have money in the old days before banknotes. Yes, we had.
Yeah.
We said many things. Yani, think of the things that were money or like money or do what money does. We know gold and silver. What else? You just said something.
Shells.
Shells. Anything that is accepted by people. See, before there was this money, people were using gold and silver. Yani coins, gold coins and silver for their transaction as medium of exchange. And somehow they realized they cannot keep that gold and silver at their home because it's dangerous, it's not protected, it is so and so. And so they used to take it as deposits to this guy who gives them a paper, yani receipt for their deposits. He gives them a paper receipt. He said, you give me this much gold, you take this paper receipt for the gold you keep. He realized, this goldsmith, this guy who was keeping the gold, because he had a safe, he has a safe place. So he realized that people are not coming for their money, for their gold. Instead of that, people started to trade using those receipts that he used to issue for the goods. Yani, if I'm going to buy a house from you, I will pay you that receipt. I don't have to go to the bank, to the goldsmith. Why goldsmith? Because goldsmith used to have vaults, used to have some protection, some people to protect their safes and their whatever precious metals they had. So gradually they realized that people are not coming for the money, but instead they are dealing, they are buying property, they are buying things using the receipts they got. So instead of going back and taking the cash, I will just give you the receipt. So the bearer of that receipt has the right to that deposit of cash. After some time, people seldom came to take the actual silver and gold. They relied on changing yani, the receipts they had. Those receipts over time developed to be money. And first, it was so many currencies. Every goldsmith issued his own currency, and governments eventually took over the thing, and every country issued its own currency and paper notes based on the fact that not all are coming to take the gold. They found out that they can issue more, they can give loans actually of this money, of this paper money, without actually having the gold that backs it up. This is the history of money. This is just what we have today. Paper money, it developed also into digital money, it developed into crypto money, and so on and so forth. But the whole idea is it is accepted as a medium of exchange, it is accepted as a measure of wealth, and it is accepted as a store of wealth. That's how this came into being. The fact that this is not 3,000 years old. 3,000 years ago, they didn't have paper money. They were dealing with gold and silver. But the fact that this paper money was discovered only 500 years ago, 300 years ago, 400 years ago, I don't know, but it was not there. This is called banknote, but the concept of bank was there. But then when they lend actual gold and they get repaid actual gold or silver. Many other goods also over history served as money. For example, wheat, salt, date. These are all were media used as media of exchange and measure of value. As we said, copper, steel, stones in some cases, and shells, as Chantel said, were used as money. Money is not new. Banknotes are new. Banks are not new. Banknotes are new. So we think banking is old. Banking is old, and we are going to explain more and more the common denominator of all jobs behind all our behavior is the money incentive. So we better know more and more about money. So what do you say? You think you are ready to learn about money? Tell us
Uh,
more. What do you have in mind? What sort of questions you have?
I don't
Um,
have much questions, but I do have something to say about banknotes. Banknotes were actually first developed in China in the Tang Dynasty in the 7th century, where instead of officials carrying around heavy like pou- pouches or purses full of coins or like heavy metals, they would exchange it to a bank, like as he said, for paper, and then they would keep it in their pouch for a lighter, more efficient carry instead of those heavy metals. And the paper was made out of a special kind of mixture, which was given by the government to officials to be printed and to be written on. And that is how currency, especially banknotes, has been developed into paper.
she's saying in China. I don't know where it was developed. Somewhere else, I thought it was developed in Italy, someplace. But whether China, whether Italy, it is money. It acts as money. It is accepted as media of exchange. So let's see, yani, why this money is the common factor, why it is behind all our economic activities. This is what we are going to do in the next few episodes. So we will study about what is the common thing between all jobs at this stage. Normally, it is money.